I believe we live in an extremely disgusting, dystopian oligarchy of a country, a sci fi dystopia that is reminiscent of many different video games and books and even myths and stories that go back a very long ways. There are so many tales that foretell of people just choosing progress over people's lives, as is in the case with video games like Portal and like Half-Life, of people's pursuit of progress leading to their undoing because they don't consider the ethical ramifications of their actions. They just think ease and money and wanting to advance society, and without empathy, it's meaningless. Books like A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court that talks about what if you could go back in time from someone who was a regular Joe in the 1800s, who was a working man, who goes back in time to the medieval times and then joins King Arthur's court and becomes his wizard and like technologically revolutionizes the medieval times by bringing 1800s technology to King Arthur's court by reinventing it back there and showing them how to make like gunfire explosives as part of his magic trick and other things. And in that story, it's a really good story, but it delves into these topics of like what is the cost of that. I feel like the end of that really talks about like what is the bad parts of that could happen, and then how might that like change your life in good ways and in bad ways. And also I feel like there's a lot of fairy tales that I read that were cautionary tales. I read a lot of Grimm's fairy tales. I read Dracula. I read other things. And I feel like a lot of the warnings that those stories taught me, I'm seeing right now in the world that they haven't been heeded, that history is repeating itself, that a lot of the things that spoke to me, tales I loved, like the Once and Future King series by T.H. White, which was written around World War II, one of the core themes of those stories is that might does not make right, and that if you're going to build a healthy society and civilization, might does not make right, and if too many people who believe might makes right are infiltrating the society, it will be its undoing. And I just feel like there's all these different lessons that I learned that are completely being ignored in favor of comfort, convenience, and progress at the expense of human lives. And I truly believe, I live in a country right now that's idea of peace, that's idea of an acceptable society is just outcasting, othering, torturing, and killing anyone who can't conform to it. I truly believe I'm living in a world right now that is ruled by might makes right mentality. Just like all the warnings of all the different media I grew up with was warning me against this. And I see right now in the world around me that people don't have empathy, and that they've been controlled by media, they've been controlled by whatever things they are exposed to just not care about other people and to just judge them and outcast them and spurn them and bully them and mock them and separate them and segregate them from themselves. And then when those people who have been forced beneath are fighting back, they're made political scapegoats of. They're told that they just need to take it. They're told that they should be thankful to be starving in the USA and not in some other country. Like, I literally saw that recently, me and some other, and another trans person who I look up to. There was this guy bullying us for having struggled with food insecurity. And it's like, they were like saying, oh, you should be so grateful to even have these like resources out here. And it's like the guy was trying to say like he didn't have those resources. He had to move to have those resources. And it's like It's not better to be hungry here than it is to be hungry anywhere else. We're still fucking hungry either way. And like there's still problems here. And like getting upset at people for calling out the problems isn't going to make those problems go away. It's just diverting attention and making chaos. And I just feel like I don't belong to this world. I feel no connection to my government. I feel no connection to my country. I feel no connection to the humans here. But I feel a connection when I go out into nature. I feel a connection when I read stories and play games and create. I feel a connection when I meditate, when I speak to spirits, when I speak to demons, when I speak to gods. I feel a connection when I write and draw and sing and read. But I don't feel a connection to my country, to the government, and to the world around me, the human world around me. Because it's being ruled by a bunch of fascists and liars. And the sooner people are willing to face their own shadows, the better. Because we need people to start taking accountability for what's going on. All of us need to do a small part. Because if all of us collectively change a little bit, that makes rapid ripples. There's power in numbers. And it may feel hopeless, but it's not. Because everything happening right now is just a repeat of stuff that already happened in the past.